Kia ora. Hello, Katrin here. Today I want to talk to you about a topic that is quite emotional for some and dear to my heart for many reasons. And the topic is patterns of any form of abuse. What I mean with patterns, maybe I explain it through my personal experiences. So as a child, I was abused in many different forms. And that basically led to me becoming a very angry child, a very angry teenager, and a very angry young adult. It took years and years until I found out that I had been abused. And in hindsight, I understood why I was so angry and why I continued my life basically in a fighting mode, because that was the response my body had towards any man coming closer to me. I remember when I was in the elementary school, I would meet with the bully of the school after school in order to fight him. I was so angry deep inside, and that anger created me to be really, really strong. And the way to release it was either fighting bullies or playing really tough games in handball. That was my kind of game. Later on, I was fighting teachers and authority figures for no real obvious reason as such. When I started working, I always had men as my upline, so to speak. And although they didn't really make better work than I did, as I thought, they would get paid better. So that was my next battle I was fighting. And so I continuously was fighting most of my life until I became aware of what happened and until I managed to transform the emotional trauma that I had, the physical and the mental trauma. When I listen these days to lots of radio or TV news, when they are talking about facing oppressors or dealing with these issues, I have learned now that it is as important to do that as, in my opinion, it is to transform the patterns that are creating this kind of behavior. So everyone who is growing up in an environment of abuse, whether it's physical or mental, doesn't really matter, is somehow picking up these patterns, and they remain within our own energy fields until we consciously transform and release them. If we are not aware of that and we are not doing this, we continue to live and pass on these patterns. We may not be the accuser in the same form as we have received the abuse. However, looking at my life, I was so angry. I was fighting the whole time. I certainly wasn't a very nice person to be around sometimes. And that was my form kind of abuse passing on to others. I don't condone the behavior of anybody who does abuse. Neither do I condone how I may have treated some people in my work life later on, before I became aware of all of this. However, my mission really is to make as many people as possible worldwide aware that the pattern is what needs to be transformed. When we transform the pattern, then it won't be continued. And then we will finally be released of any form of abuse or trauma or a power struggle that has shaped humanity since so many centuries. And this really is one of my big missions, to help people understand this, be aware of this, and also understand it's not enough to deal with one or the other side either the oppressor or the victim. That's not enough. It is as important to explain to everyone, everywhere, it can happen in any family, and it is happening in many families, that we have to change the pattern. That is one of my big missions in this world. And I believe that we have the capacity to do so. And I know that life, once that is transformed, is so different, because I know it from my experience. I have been living most of my life in fear. And let me tell you, that is not a fun place to be. And you are also not making very good decisions when they are based on fear. And now, having transformed this and experienced life how it's supposed to be, is completely different. And it's liberating and empowering and just beautiful. Yeah, so that was that's my big mission. And if you would like to find out more how to do this, or if you have any organization where I could be of assistance and support, I would love to hear from you. Bye for now.